a friend, a family member, your mother. It could be anyone who you want your model to be. You can model your own design. And the only thing is that last year we allowed you to bring in like younger siblings to be your model. This year you have to be 13 and up because that's going to be the requirement for Charlotte Fashion Week. They want everyone 13 and up in the back, behind the stage, everything. So you got to be 13 and up to have your model. Your model has to be 13 and up. Okay, and then so Team Fashion Week, you have those series of workshops, and on the back you can look at the different workshops that are going on. The Saturday morning, the day of the show, there will be an interview session for the designers to actually have an interview with the judges, who are also, some of the judges are the people that are holding the apprenticeships that we're offering for a week, to kind of get to know you guys and also give you the chance to talk about your design and what inspired you. So, because some of those points are built on inspiration. Maybe you might not be the most amazing sewer or person that puts together a design, but seeing that creativity and understanding your thought process, we see the potential there that they know that they can build and work with. So the interview portion is really important. So that will be actually done in the morning, because last year we did it on stage and it was rushed. So this year we're going to do it in the morning, and then the fashion show will be in the afternoon at 2. So please try to take advantage of the workshops that will be offered during the week for Team Fashion Week, because those are going to help you out tremendously. We have a Mr. Louis, I can't pronounce his last name, but how do you say it? Machikau on Monday. We got Flavia on Tuesday. We have Miss Tara Davis, who is actually who actually owns Flow by Tara Davis, and she's actually choosing some people for her apprenticeship. She will be here on Wednesday. We have Karen Huskins with KSH Couture, and we have a model to do the model workshop with the designers. And then on Saturday, that's the show and the interviews. The main requirements that we want to look at, if you turn the page, you must be between the ages of 13 and 18 to participate, and your model must be 13. You will be required to register online to be a designer in the show. Registration will go up next week, so just make sure you register online. You can go through the ImaginOn website to register. You can go to libraryloft.org. That address is on the packet as well. You just need to make sure you register to be a designer. That lets us know this designer is interested. We don't know for surely if you're interested until you bring in your packet, and that's due the Friday, the day before the show, by the day before the show. So that's due no later than Friday at 5 p.m. on the 19th. That gives us a chance for in the morning to know who we're expecting, to prep for them, set up our interview times and everything. So the packet is actually due the Friday, July 19th, day before the show. And I think there's some place on the packet that says July 19th, the packet is due. Okay? July 19th, the packet is due. You have to complete an interview with the judges. You have to submit you actually have to do a sketch for your design. You have to sketch. Even if you're not the best drawer, just, draw out the vision before you start. We want you to understand the process that it takes. And then we want your theme to fit the fashionably ever after theme of Team Fashion Apprentice. So your piece can be inspired by any type of character in any book. Any book. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a Disney book or anything like that. It can be a book out of the Twilight series. It can be inspired by a character in there, but it has to be an inspiration just to bring in that literary component to the library and that research component. Also, you must supply your own model, or you can be your own model, and your design has to be made out of a product. It cannot be made out of material. That's the catch. That's the catch. Now, that's why Flavia is here to come in, because all of the pieces have to be recyclable wear. So this is the challenge, is to have to be made out of products. So Flavia is going to show you guys some designs. You can see one of her pieces over there put together. And it is okay. We want you to, because you will get judged a little bit on sewing. So that means like needle and thread. But it is okay to have other creative. I know Flavia, she's a complete professional but it's okay to have a little bit of hot gluing going on there. Okay, it's okay. So, but if you can stay away from it, that's great. But if not, it's okay to have a little bit of hot gluing and things going on. This is your first recycled piece you're going to construct. We just want to make sure your piece is sturdy and able to wear. Okay, for your model. And she's going to show you guys some things and inspire you to how to construct something like this, because I have no idea. So if you have any questions, guys have any questions dealing with the requirements for the designers? Say that again. Product, paper, plastic. Flavia can get more in detail. She'll get more into detail about what it means to have a product. It can be garbage bags, it can be anything, okay? But it cannot be, it's something that can be recycled. So anything you can think of that can be recycled, usually that's something you can use. Another thing that I was going to mention is, it slipped my mind that quick. Slipped my mind, maybe it'll come back to me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let Flavia take the floor.
Hi, I'm Flavia, and I am not a recycled fashion designer. I am actually a sustainable artist. So I do mixed media, acrylic paintings, and foil paper art, but that also brings me into the recycled stuff because I do work with recycled stuff all the time. Paper is my favorite subject or medium, not plastic, but in the art, in the fashion world, paper is the one first thing everybody goes to. So dresses made out of paper, magazines, phone books have been done 1,000 times. So I had to kind of spread it and venture out of my comfort thing. So this is one of the dresses that Jamaica pointed out. This is actually I'll just pull it out so we can.
It's very pretty. Different.
You can touch it. Better gauge. This is an old catalog from a builder, and they were tossing it. It was past year, and I thought the colors and the consistency are so wonderful. I didn't want to throw it away because paper calls me all the time, save me, rescue me, don't throw me away. And you can touch it. So the thickness of it can't do much other than fold it, pleat it, tube it. You can't coil this. This is coil. These are coil.
You use the hole puncher?
I found a small, tiny little hole puncher, and I sewed this one only because hot glue gun, like she pointed out, is not really a glue of choice. You want to touch it too? She's all totally focused on her little thing. Hot glue gun is not a glue. I mean, every glue is intended and it has a purpose for something, but hot glue is definitely not for paper ever. Elmer's glue is a paper glue, and in cases like this, where Elmer's won't work, sewing and masking tape. Is this masking tape? Yes, masking tape. So, in construction, the products you want to use are anything. A lot of people misunderstand what recycled fashion is. They think it is making fashion out of something that's not fabric, but not recycled really. To me, recycled is using something that has been used, it's been discarded, and you should save it and bring it, give it a second chance at doing something else. A lot of people use, like, I've seen fashion shows where we had recycled wear and it was made out of tin foil, but the tin foil was all brand spanking new. Because normally tin foil is used in baking and cooking, it smells, so, but in my shows, 25% of the recycled stuff has to be truly recycled. The rest can be things that you would never really use to make fashion with. But if you can, the more recycled stuff is, the better it is. All my stuff is fully 100% recycled. From the yarn that I use is from sweaters that we have unraveled. Well, the duct tape, no, the glues and the sticky stuff or the things to put it together, no, can't be reused because it doesn't have a second chance. But wires, yarn, whatever. So, and then when you construct a piece that you choose, okay, back to, when you choose something for your recycled stuff, it should be something that you either have a lot of. So let's say you eat a lot of McDonald's. Well, instead of throwing the cups, decide to make dresses out of cups or straws or the lid of the cup. If you eat a lot of frozen foods, don't throw the cardboards away. Use the cardboards for that. I have a lot of magazines because I do a lot of magazine stuff. I don't even read it anymore because I'm so busy, but everybody gives me theirs. Plastic bags, like I do a lot of grocery shopping at Food Lion and Harris Teeter. I use those bags to make my dresses. Zip ties, coffee stirrers, whatever you do a lot of. My kids are saving all their candy wrappers, and they're going to make a dress out of candy wrappers one day when they're a little older, I think, because they're not as motivated as I am. I've seen things done from tin cans, tin tabs, pulleys, bottle caps, and I'll show you some pictures of some of the artists I've worked with that have done fashion shows with me. This one, for instance, I'll show you some samples of products. Who doesn't drink bottled water, right? I've seen people do dresses out of the bottoms. You cut them and it looks adorable. Or you scrunch them up and that looks really cool. So, you take this off and you can envision eventually when you have plenty, you can do stuff out of this. Or this was one of my dresses. I worked with a company that did marketing, and all their stuff came in wrapped in shipping paper. I had a ton of shipping paper, so this is one top.
What are those round pieces? Like I see it on the mannequin you have there, the big round,
This?
that, and on your
This?
earring. And what are
Foil
those?
paper. Magazine. I twist them and I coil them and I glue them so they are. Well,
Really?
I'll take it around again.
That's interesting.
This one I shaped to
So
be
she
a
take
bra
it and twist everything. and
on
do-
top of the magazine, only because if you do it on craft paper, which is this shipping paper, the shipping paper was a little boring when you make a dress. So I painted it like my paintings and added a bunch of stuff to make it a little bit cooler.
That's really cool.
But coiled, yeah, they take forever, so it's not one of those
This
things
is
that
not even for me, and I like it. Right? It's cool.
right? So you can use whatever product you use, you can mix and match. You do not have to stick to one media. Like if it's paper, it doesn't have to just be paper. It could be paper metal, paper plastic, paper whatever. So this is another one. Well, this had a skirt, and we'll see pictures later. Grocery bags. This was a hat for a boy, but totally cool. So this is I don't know what bag it was, but it was a grocery bag. Mylar. This is not tin foil. This somebody gave me a roll that they were going to do the throw away in the dumpster. And it's Mylar. I made a dress out of this. It's resistant. Now, some products you cannot sew at all. This one, you put a little hole and it tears like crazy. It'll just shred. So this one had to be hot glue gun and tape. I just brought pieces of my dresses because I didn't have so many dresses. So this one is egg crate. When you have, the recycled cardboard egg crates, you cut them up, they make little flower shapes. So a dress was made out of, and this was a shoe that went with the dress, with my coils. So this was already recycled, and I recycled it for the third time. So, egg crate is already recycled. And this was actually the models. Going to models. You don't want to model your own dress because you are the designer and you can't, it's not comfortable to play two roles. I say this from experience. Not because I was a model, but somebody else was a model. This is a coffee bag. So I made pants, and this was a part of a car engine, I think. And, and somebody's upholsterers. You can go to any business and ask them for their scraps. They'll more than gladly give you their scraps. So if it's a furniture place, they'll give you their leather, their fabrics, upholstery fabrics are fine to making clothes. If you go to, I don't know, can't remember, but anybody will give you their scraps. It's plastic bottles, it's labels. You can even go to some businesses like Starbucks and say, I'm doing a fashion show, would you sponsor me with products? In many cases, they'll say yes. I had a friend who did a Starbucks dress, and she did it out of the Starbucks coffee koozie thingies. It was all that and zip ties. Very cute dress. This I pulled out of the dumpster. This was an IKEA lamp, and it sat in a plastic, it was sealed in a plastic thing. I had to work really hard to break it apart and then make a paper skirt lining, and this was a skirt for one of my models. So, saving stuff in the dumpster, I love dumpster diving. Don't suggest it to everybody.
You have
but
an
yeah.
amazing eye.
So, the idea is you can do things from anything. And I'm going to show you some pictures of some of the past creations. This group, her name is Altercation, and it's a group of kids, fashion designers who actually have a fashion line, so they are actual fashion designers. The rest are not. This was this year's dress they did for Passport Fashion, speaking of, and it's hemp. This is the same material as my pants. It's hemp, the bag. This is, if I remember correctly, is paper plastic that you find in between pages of photo albums. And I think it's metal or bottle caps. And they made peacock feathers. That's why she looks a little like a peacock. They're really cool designers. I love their work. And they won first prize last year with, no, this is mine. This is coil paper. Can we make it bigger? Or maybe this. Expand it to the screen so you can see it a little better. That is my coil paper. That was my very first dress. Coil paper, top and skirt was it looked like a fishnet kind of thing. No?
You put the projector back.
You put the projector back. Right. You want to sit? Can you see?
Can you see?
The white underneath is tissue paper from gifts. And if you have something that you have, but you don't have enough to make a dress, if you put word on Facebook to your friends, believe me, they're going to throw all their trash to you. And or you can put, there's several platforms online that you can say post on, like Craigslist or eBay. No.
eBay.
FreeCycle. No, eBay is actually another one. Yeah. FreeCycle.com is local. You post, I need this for whatever it is, and if it's trash, they're glad to give it to you because you normally pick it up and it saves them time and money. So this was tissue, the white, and then the rest is all recycled material. This took me 4 months to make. All right, I'm gonna have to go back.
Want to zoom out?
I'm gonna zoom out here. Nope. This is the same as a shipping paper, but it's those rolls of craft that the white paper kids draw on, real big rolls of white paper. Somebody gave me that. My kids don't use that, so I use it to make a skirt. Coil paper belt, and I cut out shapes of flowers and added them. So you see these little specks on the skirt. The detail was all oops, never mind. These here, cut out flowers I taped on with double-sided tape. This is paper pulp. A friend of mine made a paper dress, or a dress, and it was white. I made this dress, and I had a vinyl top. We swapped because hers looked good on mine, and vice versa. This is all paper. I was not doing this.
This is the back button.
Back button. Back button. There you go. This next one, this is Venetian blinds. The front, well, I don't know if we have a front part, but it's drapery. It's all drapery and Venetian blinds. This is metal wire, and they paired it up with boots and stuff. But it's just the dress was just the recycled all this metal stuff and metal beads and leather that we scraps that we found. shoot, I'm hating doing that. This is to give you ideas on what you can use. This is the egg crate dress that I made, the shoe I showed you. It's all, the top was crisscrossed. And then I'm going to start talking about how to make these dresses. This is bottle caps that have been flattened. She won, this is application also. They won last year's Passport for Fashion. They're a great group of kids to work with. The mylar I was showing you, the white is milk jug, the plastic milk containers. I saved a bunch and then cut them out and made shapes out of them. You don't have to use the product in its natural packaging either. This is the skirt that I just showed you with mylar belt and Walmart bags. I put several bags together, ironed them, and it looked like a lacy top. This is drop cloth for painters. You buy it at Lowe's. This was a guy who was in construction, and that's what they did with theirs. Bottle caps painted, beer caps, a bar recycled. This is the top I traded with. She made a skirt out of Target bags. This is silk. She was a silk scarf manufacturer, and the scraps she used to make the dresses. So you can actually do with fabric as long as it's, this was too safe. You don't win anything, you don't go very far if you stay safe. You have to actually push your limits and go crazy designing something. This is recycled buttons. Somebody had a huge collection of buttons from their grandmother. So she sewed them all on top, and then the skirt is a torn drapery. Cork bottles. Instead of using corks the way there's, you know, the belt is the actual cork left intact. The rest of the dress, she sliced up the corks into circles and then sewed it together. She makes amazing work too. And Edelweiss is her name. This is the rest of the outfit of the top I showed you. The back is crisscross, and I'll then explain why I make and how I make my tops or my outfits. This was Monique Luck. She is an amazing artist. She made her dress out of origami tops. Oh, let's see if it goes this way. And that was the last one. So, any questions right now? No? Yes.
So why do you suggest not designing in model?
When you are at a moment of total pressure because you are the designer of a dress and they're going to be interviewing you, wearing the different hats becomes extremely taxing. So if you are the model, you're going to be wearing the model hat and the designer hat, and you won't be able to focus on both as well as you would if you just are the designer. You can, but you will be a little overwhelmed. Let's put it that way. And as a designer, you will already be worried with your piece, your model, your hair, and as a designer, you're going to be worried twice as much because it's you. And you're going to have to walk the runway. You can, but I highly suggest all my designers never to be your own model because it's just too dispersive. You need to focus on one position. That would be the designer. And it's more important to be the designer than the model. I mean, yeah, you could definitely be your model, but you know, they're going to be interviewing you. You're going to want to run with the designers and the models, and you can't. You have to choose one or the other.
Because my concern is that it's much easier for me to make a garment to my own measurements rather than having to constantly reference someone else.
Now I'm going to the trick that I have. I never really even put an outfit on a model until the very last minute. One, I suggest you all do or get or create a mannequin. When you decide what product you're going to use to do your dress, you're going to want to start keeping it visible at all times. The minute you put it away, out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, you don't find that inspiration that you need to make a dress. So you find the product, and what I normally do is I have, you know, in the course of my day, I'll find 10 things. I go, oh my gosh, I can do the dress out of this. So I put it aside, and then I start pinning them on my mannequins. And as I see them, eventually, I'll see something in nature, in a book, or talking to a friend, in a showroom, and I'm gonna go, that dress would look fantastic with this, you know, whatever it is, egg crepe thing or whatever. And then I'll start thinking about the creation of the dress. Now, fabric is completely different than recycled stuff. Where recycled things don't manipulate as easy as fabric. You have to sometimes, you'll choose something you love and you're gonna go, I'm gonna make a dress out of this, and then you'll find it impossible. The white dress that I was talking about earlier, no, it's on this side, hold on a second. The paper craft, this dress. I started a skirt because the same marketing company I was working with had the vinyl coverings for cars, and they're like stickers. They're total incredible stickers, and the peel of it, the back of it that keeps it from sticking is amazing. It's sheer, and it's got one side is very, very slick and the other side is very ribby. So it looks really cool. I cut it all up and I'm putting it together, but nothing works to stick it together because it's the other side of a Scotch tape. So duct tape, masking tape, no tape would adhere. I stapled it and it ripped like mylar. So there are certain things that will never work for you, no matter how much you want it. So I did the whole skirt and I tried it several times and I finally had to really discard that one. I threw that in the trash and I'm sorry about that. But so I went to the craft paper and redid the same design because that design worked for me and turned it into regular paper with other things. So you find the product and you have to start working it. So my suggestion, the minute you find something you want to work with, start it. Don't procrastinate, don't delay, because you will have moments of where you don't have the inspiration of what am I going to do, or you might find that you can't, however you were thinking of doing it, it won't work with that product. So you're going to have to realign or reprogram yourself and think of another way of doing it. What I normally do is make pieces. I'll start with normal average chest size for a woman is C. So work around a possibility of a C breast, and if your model ends up being flat chested, C will work. Nobody will know because the dress hides it, and it's paper or plastic or whatever it is. You won't see what it is, her shape of her dress or of her body. When you construct the top, I normally make it in 3 pieces. The front is attached to two panels in the back, or 1 back and 2 panels in the front. So you can enlarge it or tighten it. This top, for instance, has 2 buttons in the back. It has 2 buttons in the back because I've had 5 different models wear this, and you can actually enlarge it or tighten it. I've had one model wear like this, and the other one was a little smaller actually than that. So you make your pieces, you construct it in panels, and then when you find your model, you alter it to her. But try never to fit one design to one model, because if that piece is really cool, you might not be able to find the same model to model it for you, and so it's gonna have to adapt to a different shape. Same thing with a skirt. This skirt has this, so I could have a very skinny model wear it tightly, or a less skinny model wear it a little bit wider. And you've got to think also when you're building your piece that it goes on a human body. And our arms move this way. Most oftentimes the defects of clothes are that they don't take into account, I don't walk like this. And you have to also remember you walk. I had one designer do a dress where the model had to walk like this, and she couldn't go up the stairs, so we had to lift her to get on the runway. Not a good idea. It's very trying for the model. So that is it. Any other questions? You still want to be your model?
Yeah, I honestly don't trust anyone else to do it.
Yeah, you're so funny. You would be surprised how much people actually will come through, and especially if you tell them, do you want to be my model? and they do, most girls want to be models, especially for recycle. It's cool. It's a lot of fun. I have never had any problems finding models for myself and everybody else that comes and does stuff with me. But you can be a model. I don't suggest it. You can try it. Do it this year, and you will then find out if you like it for next year, if you're going to continue doing this. And it's really, if you go out there and you find somebody, what I normally do, and only very rarely do I get a very strange response, I'll stop people on the road and going, oh my gosh, how tall are you? You're beautiful. Do you want to be my model? I'm a designer. Do you want to be my model? Because if I said you want to be my model, they're going to look at me like, well, I had 2 people react like, huh? Cool. But the majority are like, sure. And I give them my business card, we exchange, I tell them to go on this website, which is our website, a bunch of artists. All these dresses were done by artists, sculptors, painters, and a couple of fashion designers, but only a couple. And I have never had any problems. And they come to we do regular trainings for models, because you have to know how to walk in a particular way, and they love it. All of them. These girls were regular girls like you. They weren't models before. They sure look like models now. Still interested? No. I'm saying to everybody else, you still want to do this, because it's a lot of work, by the way, doing a recycled piece. It's not something that you can slap together easily. You have to. You will live and breathe your creation. You will want to do it. You will wake up in the morning going, okay, I can't wait to continue. You can get ideas on how to make dresses by flipping through pages of fashion, just to get a general design idea. I never suggest anybody to copy specifically something, because it's never going to work that way, and never worked for me. When you copy it, it always kind of loses in interpretation by how I interpret things. So you should get inspirations from everything outside you, including other people's work. Do you know what you're working with already? No. None of you? Speak up.
I think I'm going to work with plastic bags because we always save them.
Yes.
So I was thinking, actually, she originally started saving plastic bags for yarn, like plastic bag yarn.
Yep. I had a designer do a plastic bag yarn dress this last show, and I don't know if I could pull it up, but it was stunning. And she crocheted the top. Let me see if I can pull it up. Maybe it's here. Directly up close, October 15th, and it's a free event. So it's the Mint Museum in Randolph, and all the artists that were at our last show will be there, and that would be a good idea for you guys to attend just to see. To be careful, the aluminum cans can be very sharp, yes. Be very careful with them.
Trust me, I would.
Right? And you're going to be wearing that, so be very careful. How about you?
I'm not sure yet. I've thought about paper and cardboard, but I think I want to try something a little bit more inventive.
You can also mix it.
Yes, yeah.
Exactly. And You don't have a lot of time, so you're going to have to make a decision soon and start working on it, because those points that I brought up are very important. Working on it, early on, and then trying it on to see the mobility, the adaptability. It has to be wearable. It doesn't have to be functional, but it has to be wearable by a model. And you have to remember how sometimes the designers will keep in mind it will pinch, it will cut, it will hurt, and they have to, at Passport, they stand back there wearing that dress for hours, and it's got to be a little less uncomfortable than, because we've had models fainting. It's hot, it is cramped, yeah, so make it as comfortable as possible. If you're doing something like aluminum, pad it.
Kind of like what everyone else said, maybe like plastic bags and paper and like some old candy wrappers or something.
Yeah, exactly. Ideas. They're at the library, maybe even here. They might have some old-fashioned books too of history dresses, so that you can get inspirations on. If it's a stiff material, like in the old days, in the turn of the century, Victorian clothes were very stiff. Look at how they design them and try that. If you have problems with how to design an outfit, get a pattern. That's what I tell all my designers. Go to a fabric store, find a dress that because you're never going to find the dress for it, but if, let's say, you want a bustier, get a pattern for a bustier so you know more or less how to cut it, because you will look at the pattern, you're going to go, oh, I would have never guessed that the arm sleeve, it loops up and curls for the armpit. So get a pattern to give you ideas. Use the pattern if you can, in certain spots, but not necessarily in everything. Yes. I was going to get some pictures, but I don't know how to get them, so yeah, no, right. We have used eyelets in case. You can use hot glue gun, like my egg crate dress was all hot glue gun, just because the only thing that would glue it was hot glue. As long as you don't see it. Scotch tape, as long as the stuff that you use to put it together is not visible to the naked eye, as oh, that doesn't look like it should belong there. Like I did the stitches on this hemp visible because I wanted it visible. It's supposed to be part of that rugged kind of thing. You have to run with the theme and follow through. Details are super important, and finishing is super important. So again, if you start early enough, you can actually alter and finish and use details. Every little string of mine is tied in a knot, and every bead is carefully checked, so you can have hanging stuff, because that distracts you and people ding you on that. So I think so.
Okay, y'all.
Any other questions? Any questions?
How much does the literary character weigh in?
On your piece?
Okay, that's for the library. I'll step in here. The literary, it's a part of the theme, so it just needs to be inspired by a literary character. We just want to see that there was a literary component brought into the piece. So there might be a novel that you read, and maybe you don't know what kind of dress or attire she would wear, but just from her personality or whatever, you could say this piece was inspired by this character in this novel that I read. It reminds me of something she would wear because she was very melancholy, and she was very, that's how it just needs to be inspired. So we just want to bring in a literature component to this year's theme. So but it would be easy if you do a children's book, because they usually have photographs, but you don't have to. But yeah, just need to be inspired by a literary character. And another thing I did want to bring in, the thing I forgot about in the beginning, I remembered the apprenticeships. There's 10 apprenticeships. So there's not one designer that's going to win for the show. There's 10 selected. The top 10 are selected. And there are 10 apprenticeships we're given this year. One of the apprenticeships is for the costume shop, which is here. And we're only giving away one of those because we're actually giving a scholarship. We actually have a scholarship for that one. So that's one spot. And then we have 3 apprenticeships available for Flow by Tara Davis, who is a designer. and she's done Passport and everything too, and she has a boutique, and you'll work with her for a week in her shop, in her boutique, and helping her with some of her designs. And then the last 6 will be for Charlotte Scene, and that apprenticeship is with the company Charlotte Scene, which is the owners of Charlotte Fashion Week. And granted, that internship does not involve stitching, sewing, but it involves you being in the fashion industry, networking with other designers. Charlotte Scene is also the owner of Passport to Fashion with a lot of those designers that you saw in there. So networking with designers and, you know, working with them to help put together the show for Charlotte Fashion Week, which you will actually be in. So 6 apprenticeships for a week is with Charlotte Fashion Week, Charlotte Scene. 3 is with Flow by Tara Davis, and 1 with the costume shop. And you actually, on your packet, you can check which is your first, second, or third choice. And by the scores, will determine who will get their first, second, and third choice based on the top scores. So if you are the top scorer and you chose the only one for the costume shop, then of course you would get that one. So it kind of falls in where you score and where your first and second choice was. It's going to be. And everyone that participates in the fashion show here at ImaginOn will have the opportunity to showcase your work at the Mint Museum. So we are having a reception at the Mint Museum for all of the designers that participate in the fashion show. And we will have a professional photographer at our fashion show, and all of your work will be on display through pictures at the Mint Museum for an entire week. So people that are walking through the Mint Museum, they can see all the designs on display that you guys designed. And at the reception, we just ask you all to bring your model or bring in your design at the reception that we have for family to kind of just socialize and take in the event, and also, just to recap everything that happened and just to pay tribute to you guys as designers. So that reception is at Mint Museum, and you guys get to see where your stuff is on display in the Mint Museum as well.
What about the fashion photography?
Say that again.
The fashion photography, that internship.
Yeah, so that's a workshop that's going on throughout the. We have 3 fashion photography workshops. 2 have already been done. There's 1 more left, and if you look on the sheet, with all the workshops, that'll tell you when the last workshop is. We do not. All of our apprenticeships are for those that are competing in for the designers competing. So the designers get the chance to win those apprenticeships. There's no photography apprenticeship this year. We're hoping next year we might expand to different apprenticeships. But the next fashion photography workshop will be on July 10th, and it's going to be at Independence Regional. So, I'm trying to think everything. Oh, and for those 10 that are walking in Charlotte Fashion Week, you will be there. It's going to be an all-day thing, and you'll be getting the full professional hair and makeup done by professional artists. You guys participated last year, so they actually participated last year. Hair and makeup by professional hair and makeup artists. Runway model coach the models during that day. It's an all-day thing, and you're up there and you're backstage with all these professional designers in Charlotte, and it's a really amazing experience. And just like those designers on the stage, they actually win awards from Charlotte Fashion Week. They're actually going to give away 1 award for our teen designers. So one of the teen designers, the top teen designers, will get an award from Charlotte Fashion Week. And also, with you being on that runway, your photographs will be online and accessible with everyone that views anything that goes on during Charlotte Fashion Week. So it's a great experience. Is there any more questions? I know it's a lot, and this is getting recorded, so it'll also be online for you to kind of go back through. Any questions about the application? Once again, the packet is due by the Friday before the show. You can turn it in earlier, but it's due by that Friday. We're giving you up to that Friday, just in case you might have some last-minute changes or some things that might change your design during the week of Teen Fashion Week. You have that opportunity. Please do not wait till the last minute to start on your design. You probably will be able to tell because the stakes are raised a little bit more higher this year with having to create a recycled piece. And when we say using a product, please know that you can use material for like your undergarments and things like that. But we want to see that you use recyclable products. We were told from Charlotte Fashion Week, please emphasize a product. The team's using a product this year, so make sure that your design is incorporated with a product. That's the main emphasis that you see. Even if you do have a t-shirt or something underneath it, we want to see a product is used to construct your piece.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead, baby.
The design coming, does it have to be, can it be anything, or does it have to be something that will be worn realistic?
It has to be born where?
Does it have to be, can it be anything, or does it have to be something that will be worn today, like in this time?
In this time period? No, it doesn't. It can be if your character is inspired by another time period, then the outfit represents that time period that character is inspired by. If it's representing a character that's in the future, then it can be inspired by that futuristic thing, how you construct it.
Does it have to be a male or female?
Model, it does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
It can be male or female. Any other questions? Go ahead.
From what you said a couple seconds ago, does the design have to be based on just one, like for example, plastic bags, or can it just be?
You can incorporate as many products as you want. If you want the shoes to be plastic and the dress to be metal and something else made out of car parts or whatever, you can be made out of anything. You can incorporate as much as you want to. You know, as long as it looks aesthetically pleasing to the eye, I don't see nothing wrong with it. So, and also with reiterating the age, the requirement for 13 and up, that requirement was made for Charlotte Fashion Week. So as long as you are 13 by September the 18th, I want to say, September the 20th, by the date of Charlotte Fashion, September 20th. As long as you are going to be 13 by September 20th, that's fine, because the requirement for 13 is set because of the requirement that they're giving us this year for the designers. So as long as you're 13 by September 20th, you'll be good. So if you're not 13 by the time of our show, that's fine. So if you're 13 by the time of their show, that's fine.
And I'm not too sure that you can be your own model at past. You just, I'm not
Well, last year we did have some teams that were models of their own designs. It's a highly intense day. You're gonna go through the hair, makeup yourself, and everything.
If you don't use, if you use another girl for your model, try not to use a friend, if you can, because friends normally will, you know, oh, I don't feel like it today, and then you're stuck. Yeah. From experience.
Gosh.
Yeah. It is very easy to find models. You can even put on Craigslist looking for models, or actually for Passport for Fashion, they will supply you your model.
Any other questions? Okay, well, this will also be available online within the next 2 weeks. So if you guys need to refer back to it, that's fine. And make sure you register. Just go ahead and put your registration in so we can get a count. I know the registration is not going to represent everyone that actually participates, but at least we know how many designers we're expecting. Register online first, and then the packet isn't due until the day before the show. Okay? And if you have any questions or you need any help with getting resources or materials, contact us. My name is Jamika. There's my other coworker, her name is Kelly Zarnicki, and there's another young lady helping us named Marie Harris. So if you come to ImaginOn or call ImaginOn and say, I need help getting some bags, we have tons of books in the back. We have tons of magazines, newspapers, anything like that. Feel free to contact us, and we can help you get your resources, the supplies you need to put together your garment. Okay?
Thank you.